Hello, and welcome to this introduction to LPM's 2021 conference, our first ever fully digital forum for everyone in SME legal business management, with me, interim editor Josh Adcock, and Christina Blacklaws, former president of the Law Society and our event ambassador this year. As Christina will be speaking at our opening session at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, the 14th of September, which is all about navigating change and how to achieve sustainable business growth in a disrupted market, we thought we'd ask her some questions and get a preview of the big issues that will feature in that first session and throughout the event. Welcome, Christina, and thanks for joining me.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure to be here, Josh. Thank you very much for having me.
No problem. It's great to have you. And it's great to have your insights on the day. And as I say, we'd like to get a little preview of what you think that first session will contain. So I'm going to jump into some questions here.
Okay.
So you've seen many firms' approaches to changes in the market across the years. How can articulating a vision and a purpose to a law firm's people help that firm grow sustainably, particularly in a disrupted market as we face now?
Well, you're not starting with the easy questions, are you, Josh? Okay, so you're right. I have had a very long career as an innovator and a law firm and business leader. And I think things have changed dramatically particularly actually over our pandemic era, when vision and particularly values and purpose are really coming to the fore. 10 years ago, if you asked a law firm what their purpose was, it was to make, to do a good job and make profit for their for their partners and to keep their clients happy. But now we're societally moving to somewhere where actually the values of the business can be an attractor or a detractor when it comes to the most important things, which is staff, attracting and retaining staff, and clients. And there's quite a bit of research already that shows that, particularly for millennials and Gen Zs, and let's remember that's over 50% of the working population now in the UK, that if you can't evidence that your values as a business accord with their values, then actually they're probably not going to be excited to come and work for you, and they're probably not going to stay around for very long.
Our next question is about what challenges do you think SME law firms might face in the next, say, 6 to 12 months that are perhaps not being paid attention to or not being attended to as urgently as they should be?
So obviously, this period of time, we're looking to come back into the office to a new normal, some form of hybrid working. And a lot of law firms are really focusing on, where they sit people, where the desks are, health and safety issues. Don't get me wrong, really, really important. However, for me, I think there's some really vital issues that law firms of any size need to dig into now, and that is about their people's mental health and well-being. That really needs to be at the forefront now. Everybody has had a rough time in some way or other. And I think also, if I might say, there's a lot of research about how working women have come off worse, actually, from the pandemic. So whether it's in relation to being more stressed, more worried about finances, shouldering more of the burden at home, there are specific issues. So I would say to law firms, make sure that you are looking intentionally to provide a working environment that is going to feel supportive, that is going to feel welcoming and inclusive, as well as getting the desks right.
which changes do you think, Christina, to the legal business model itself will stick? Which do you think will slide back to the old ways of doing things, and which have still not been pushed far enough?
Yeah. I'm gazing into my crystal ball like everybody else's, but I think there's some really key points here, and one is about intentionality, because if we don't look to create this new normal that's going to work better for us, it's going to work better for our staff, our clients, and our business, then we could just slip back into the old ways of behaving. And some people might say, great, I've missed being in the office every day. But for most people, they have enjoyed the mix and the flexibility of having some away from office working. So I think that remote working in some form or other is going to be here to stay. And I would almost describe it as what I would call a hygiene factor. So it's not something that you can attract people in with. It's not something you keep people. It's if you don't have it, they're not even going to consider you. And I think crucially for law firms, it's about how we retain our sense of culture, our sense of belonging and being in a much more hybrid working environment. So again, we really need to focus on that, think about it carefully, because it's a challenge to get right, I think.
Lastly, which sessions from LPM 2021 do you feel you'll be paying closest attention to yourself?
Well, I've been fortunate to be on the advisory board, so needless to say, I am extremely interested in all of the sessions. But to pick out a couple, then maybe, I think having just spoken about remote and hybrid working and how things need to shift and change for a flexible future, we've got a great session on that. And I think, some fantastic speakers as well who come from our community and will be able to give some real insights. When I was office holder and president at the Law Society, I go to local law societies, and the biggest issue was always around succession. So I'd really recommend that session to people as well. And because I'm a tech geek, for me, there's a session which is looking at how we can really make the technology that we have relevant to our clients and how we can engage our clients in our own journeys of innovation. So I think that will be a fascinating one as well.
Good. All right, well, that sounds brilliant. Thank you, Christina. Thank you for that preview of what to expect at the LPM 2021 Digital Conference. That is across the 14th, the 16th, and the 17th of September. We look forward to hearing more from you at the full opening session at 10 a.m. on the 14th. And remember, you can register to attend the conference for free by going to lpmmag.co.uk and navigating to events. And thank you to our sponsors for the event. Those are Access Point, CTS, NetDocuments, and Iceberg. And once again, thank you very much to yourself, Christina.
Oh, no, I'm really, really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great conference. Thanks, Josh.